I wanted to get into, and I hope I phrase this right. There are a lot of tactics and schemes that were used by African kings and leaders, and also the white sea captains used to lure slaves and lure bondspeople, as you call them in the book, to basically catch them, kidnap them, get them into slavery. And it's really fucked up. And also you're creating these plots and schemes to get people onto these slave ships. Could you describe some of the tactics that the local African leaders would use in tandem with the white sea captains and commanders to capture slaves?
Sure. Well, fundamentally, once we remember that this is business, then it is a series of transactions that have to happen. So there's reliance on different people to satisfy demand, as we know overseas. But how that begins, it comes with the coming of foreigners, and then wanting to move business deals mean then we're relying on inland capturers to go and find people. Now, people could come in a variety of ways. Someone could be out bathing, someone could be sleeping, someone could be even just planting their garden. They could be in their garden, and everyone is susceptible. And the important thing is that it goes on for centuries, but then over time, everyone is prey. And then it heightens even more in the 18th century because it's the last legalized slave, the last legalized century of the slave trade. But that, of course, it doesn't mean the ending of it. So again, we're seeing the brokering of deals in the violent capture of people. So the book itself goes from the point of capture to the point of sale. And we have to understand, how are people supplied and created? How do they come to comprise an auction block, which we traditionally will think about within the confine of the Americas, but it really begins on the coastal side of Africa. Again, as people are brought, captured, beat at any point, broken down already, starting that process, then it becomes even more concretized in placing them in separate dungeons and waiting on the movement on board ships. And then that's not to say the ship would leave immediately. So again, there's just movement. It's the movement between many hands that are invested in this violent enterprise.
Yeah, the framing of slavery being a business kind of opened up my mind to people's intentions and motives, because I never had it framed to me like that before, like trying to understand the business tactics and the motives and the profits and people's behavior within a business. But it makes sense when you start to look at it as a way that thousands of people for hundreds of years were making a living through this business of manufacturing, like human manufacturing, as you say in the book. And when I started to think about it like that, you can see how, someone who has next to nothing in Africa back in the 1700s sees people getting snatched up, and then that person could either say to themselves, all right, I could be someone who's gonna be snatched, or I can develop the skills to snatch other people and then demonstrate my value to captains and local leaders, because I have no idea what the hell is going to happen to me. And as you have examples in the book of people being flipped too, where they'll be in charge of kidnapping people, and then all of a sudden they get tricked into coming onto a boat and they're in shackles 30 seconds later.